Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos gives an audience at Beit al-Barakah to His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel. His Majesty the Sultan sends a cable of condolences to His Majesty King of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan on the victims of flood that swept through the Dead Sea. And the Joint Command of Saif Saria 3 makes a field visit to the exercise control and its headquarters. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos gave an audience yesterday at Beit al-Barakah to His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. During the meeting, they discussed means to push forward the peace process in the Middle East and discussed some issues of common concern in the interest of security and stability in the region. Omani foreign policy aims at promoting peace and dialogue between conflicting parties. This is not the first time Oman mediates between polarized countries and brings them to the table of negotiation. In this land, countries take refuge to the wise and balanced approach of His Majesty the Sultan Qaboos, starting from the Yemeni and Syrian conflicts to the Palestinian-Israeli dilemma. Oman always takes a stand for peace and dialogue and believes even when the situation is dire, there is an opportunity for peace and a time for talk. Even during war, Oman plays its humanitarian roles to tend to the injured and negotiate release of hostages. Bravery is not in the wielding of weapons and use of them. It is in extending help to the people in distress and evacuate the injured and providing health and food relief in war zone. Oman embraced the Palestinian cause and worked over the years to bring peace and coexistence between Palestine and Israel. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to His Majesty King Abdullah II of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan on the victims of flood that swept through the Dead Sea. His Majesty the Sultan sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Qurban Guli Berdi Mammadov, President of Turkmenistan, on the occasion of the National Day of his country. and His Majesty sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency President Suhili Varzoudi of the Democratic Federal Republic of Ethiopia on the occasion of her election and swearing in as new president of the country. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan Armed Forces, Major General Matar bin Salim al-Blushi, Commander of the Royal Army of Oman, Air Vice Marshal Matar bin Ali al-Abeidani, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman, Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman, and Major General Stuart Skeets, Commander of the British Joint Force, followed in the military field part of the field military operations carried out by the Omani and the British ground forces as part of the activities of the British-Omani military exercise Saif Saria 3. The two forces were able to simulate the various stages of the war. The participants from the Omani and the British sides showed a high level of combat efficiency and great skill in implementing the war phase plans, which reflected the harmony and integration of the forces in the theater of ground operations. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, discussed with General Sir Chris Deverall, Commander of the UK's Joint Forces Command, the events of the UK-Oman Joint Military Exercise. During the meeting, Lieutenant General Ahmed al-Nabhani, the exercise director, applauded the performance and integration level by the participating forces from both sides in carrying out the joint operations as per the scenarios of the military maneuvers. General Sir Chris Deverall, Commander of the UK's Joint Forces Command, made a field visit to Exercise Control HQ and the Joint Command HQ Swift Sword 3 Joint Military Exercise. After being welcomed by Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, the guest listened to the brief on the exercise, including the planning stages, the completed main events, the accomplished goals and tasks, and the next scenarios of the military maneuvers and the participating government institution. Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Commander of the Royal Navy of Oman and the Exercise Vice Director, paid a visit to the Navy commanding ship at Al-Dhafira and the UK Royal Navy ship Albion as part of the routine checks for the events of the joint military exercise. The Rear Admiral listened to a comprehensive brief on the accomplished Navy tasks and goals, the subsequent events of the military maneuvers, and the military actions for the presumed military threats. Still to come on News Bulletin. The Sultanate celebrates the Omani Youth Day, which falls on the 26th of October every year. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Jordanians rescuers searching the Dead Sea area for survivors of the flash floods found the body of a 12-year-old girl today, raising the death toll in the tragedy to 19. The body was recovered a day after middle school students and teachers visiting hot springs in the area were swept away by the flood. Civil defense officials have said the surge caused by heavy rains carried some for several kilometers toward the Dead Sea. The Director General of the Kingdom's Civil Defense said that several people are still feared missing. A complex rescue operation involving helicopters, divers, sniffer dogs, and hundreds of searchers had continued through the night yesterday. The low-lying Dead Sea area, part of the Jordan Valley, is prone to flash flooding when rainwater rushes down from adjacent hills. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing today. The two leaders held a meeting to discuss the strengthening business and trade links between the two major Asian nations. Xi said while China and Japan's relationship had been through ups and downs, it had now been straightened out. During the meeting, Abe expressed Japan's wish to take free and fair trade between them to a new level. The meeting marks a steady recovery in relations that hit a low in 2012 amid a dispute over East China Sea Islands. Ties have also been dogged by enduring Chinese resentment over Japan's invasion and occupation during World War II and a political, military, and economic rivalry for influence in Asia and beyond. The U.S. National Security Advisor said today that the White House has invited Russian President Vladimir Putin to Washington. Speaking at a press conference in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, John Bolton said the two presidents will hold a brief meeting in Paris in November on the margins of the events marking 100th anniversary at the end of the First World War II. Bolton also commented on the ways U.S. and Georgia can enhance the bilateral relationships, saying there are all kinds of opportunities for increase in American trade and investment in Georgia. John Bolton is in Georgia today for the last leg of his visit to Russia and Caucasus. There was heavy police activity in Midtown Manhattan today as reports surfaced about the discovery of more suspicious packages similar to those sent to prominent critics of President Donald Trump. A part of street in the New York borough was cordoned off and a dog handler and sniffer dog were seen checking cars parked on either sides of the road. Police confirmed today that a package closely resembling parcels sent to Trump critics was found at a post office in Manhattan. The Sultanate celebrated today Omani Youth Day, which was declared by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos on the 26th of October. A ceremony was held on this occasion in the Wilaya of Salalah and the Governorate of Dhofar. The ceremony highlighted a number of studies and initiatives regarding the youth. It also shed light on efforts exerted by the government to implement programs and activities that contribute in the achievement of youth perspectives. The event stressed on the studies conducted for qualifying the youth by cultural centers and the higher education in the Sultanate. An exhibition was also organized on the sidelines of the event with the participation of a number of public and private establishments. It displayed a number of distinguished youth initiatives in various fields. The latest weather charts of the National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Center indicates that the Sultanate will be affected by a trough of low pressure starting from today until Tuesday, the 30th of October 2018. As a result, a convective clouds and isolated rain, occasionally thunder showers associated with fresh wind and hail are expected over the governorates of Musandam, El Boremi, Al Dhahira, North and South Al Batana, Al Dakhiliya, Muscat, North and South Al Sharqiya. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation advises all to take precautions during rainfall and flash floods. Check the sea state before sailing and keep monitoring the weather bulletins. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos gives an audience at Beit al-Barakah to His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel. His Majesty the Sultan sends a cable of condolences to His Majesty King of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan on the victims of flood that swept through the Dead Sea. And the Joint Command of Saif Saria 3 makes a field visit to the exercise control and its headquarters. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching and good night.